Hi, I'm Ali from Accelerate Peak Performance Coaching, and today I have with me Stuart Walter, the founder of uh,
Founder of the world. Hey, we're
okay,
into this, Ali. We're good at this.
take two.
Take two. No, we're leaving it in because that's what life is all about. There's always issues and we can't edit it. We can't change it. It is what it is.
Imperfectly perfect. I love it.
Exactly.
So Stuart is the CEO of Athlete's Secret Weapon and Elite Mindset Institute. Stuart is also my coach and trainer and mentor for the Peak Performance Program. And today I'm going to ask him a few questions around his business, my business, and how we will in the future be working together, the support that I'll be getting from him, and the um, vision that Stuart has for Athlete's Secret Weapon going into the future.
Very exciting.
So, yes, it's very exciting, Stuart.
Seriously is exciting. Yeah, go for it.
But tell
Oh,
me, how did this all come about? You started off life as a hypnotherapist. How did you actually get started with sports and performance?
yeah, it's a long story. I can fill up the whole conversation just by doing that. But basically, I was a struggling martial artist in Taekwondo. What I realized is I was good, I was fast, I was strong, I was flexible, but I didn't have what it took mentally to be in that right space where I'm choosing to stand in front of someone who's trained to kill me. So just being good at sport and being a nice human, you're going to get knocked out, you're going to get hurt. Fortunately, as most people do, you turn to your mother. They go, help me. Yeah, mum is a naturopath and hypnotherapist and had been for years. So I was talking to her prior to one of my black belt gradings, just some of the stuff. And she goes, look, I can help you do that because obviously being in hypnosis that long, she specialized in sort of weight loss and fears and anxiety. Performance and peak performance is new within hypnosis. So I was kind of guiding her through me as an athlete and what I needed as an outcome. We did one session, it was 90 minutes, and I'm just sitting there with my eyes closed going, yeah, 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 yeah. This is my mother. This is what's going on. I walked out of there and went, okay, yeah, feel okay. But I went to training the next night and I was 10 foot tall and bulletproof, and it was just unbelievable. The clarity of my actions, my thoughts, there was no second guessing. It was 100% trust. Even my instructor was just going, what are you on? So what I realized is I was an average athlete that suddenly started doing state and national titles because I got this right. Any amount of training is not going to help you. And this is what I realized is you can do all the training in the world. But if you're not training this muscle, forget it. You only expect to be average at whatever level you're going to be at.
Mm.
So I needed to do something different and I needed to go, right, what is the difference for me? So you can imagine, I mean, you know me, you probably couldn't imagine I'm just going to walk up to someone and beat the crap out of them because that's not me as a human, but that's who I needed to be as an athlete. So I actually had to separate the person from the athlete and then create this peak performance state. And this peak performance state has just propelled, what is it now, 48 world and Olympic champions that I've got as clients. And that is my first session, my favorite session, because it works so well for me as an athlete to get into that state when I need to. And then I can switch back to being this person, then step back in again and step back out. So that was the secret for me. And I just thought, because my son was basically what, 3 months, oh, it might have been 6 months from being born. And I went, I need to do something different. I was in sales management. I was traveling 2 weeks every month. And I went, I need something different. And that's when mum said, look, I'm going to retire. And I went, oh, I could take her business. I could learn what it's all about, this clinical hypnosis, and then step into the peak performance sport aspect of it because I don't want any athletes to go through what I went through when I got injured and missed out in the Olympics. It
Mm.
was horrible. When you don't go out in your own terms, big spiral. So in doing that, and then my first day of training within clinical hypnosis was like, for me, it was duck to water. And I just expanded from there. So here we are now 18 years later, and I've gone, 18 years. I've had a pretty good run with this. I've had it all to myself. The market is pretty much in demand for me, but I can't help everyone. And this is one of the, I guess, one of the main things that came out of the Paris Olympics that we've just had, well, last year. Yeah, 21. Yeah, last year. The results from my clients, and I've gone, I can't work with that many clients effectively. So what can I do? And I got all this knowledge and experience, and I kept all these processes to myself. So now I'll get out there and share it amongst people like yourself to then use to help other athletes. So that's kind of my big picture. It's my legacy to build up a whole collaboration, basically, of the best. Well, I'm limiting it to 55. The
Mm,
best 55 practitioners worldwide that I can teach, train, mentor, and guide towards helping their athletes achieve what mine have. So it's hard because it's like an 18-year-old child I'm handing over to you and trust that you're going to do the right thing. And that's why the training that we've done, the 2 hours mentoring, this is the bit that helps me to go, yeah, okay, 100% belief and trust in Ali and your business, whether it's freedom therapy and coaching, and then stepping into Accelerate. Okay. Because with Accelerate Peak Performance, that's a beautiful word for it because you're actually doing that.
mm,
You've got the person that's already capable of doing it, but let's make them better, fast, stronger, more powerful when it's needed, like I had.
mm,
So, one, welcome aboard, and two, it's an awesome journey to share because I know how many athletes are going to benefit by the work you do, and they're already noticing the benefits in the work that you're doing.
mm. Great stuff. Thank you, Stu. So I know you touched on a little bit about, some of your processes. What would you
Mhm.
say is one of your favorite processes to do?
Ali, it's like this. Number one for me is every new client that comes in, they've probably been to see sports psychologists and mindset coaching and all these specialists and everyone. If you look at LinkedIn, everyone seems to be a specialist coach. So
Mm,
I know that I need to make a statement and quickly. I know I need to connect to these athletes. The best way to do that is just go, bang, where are we going? What are we going to do in life? Where do you want to be? What do you want to achieve within your sport? But as soon as we do that, we kind of set ourselves apart from any other professionals because they always want to talk about problems. Whereas the first thing we're doing is going, right, this is who you are. That's where you're going. What do we need to change within you now to make that possible? So we're not going to go back into the past. Now, my favorite, I kind of mentioned it before, is setting that peak performance state. Because every athlete has been in the zone once before, or as the new terminology, in flow. I use in the zone because my sport being martial arts, I was never in flow where everything was easy. I needed to get in there, get out, bang, knock that person out and get off the mat because that was my sport.
mm,
So yeah, if you want to use the terminology of being in a flow state, no problem at all. Yeah, I was in the zone. I was just in attack mode. Bang, ooh, you're out. Um, so for me, setting the peak performance state creates significant, positive, beneficial, and instant results. Because all we're doing is tapping into the athlete to get their learnt experience, knowing how good they can be, and then we apply it again. So you can do it that quickly. You've only got one session. Let's get in there, set the peak performance state based on what they need to be for their sport. They'll go to training the next day or that afternoon. They'll go and compete on the weekend. They'll come back and go, oh my God, that was brilliant.
mm,
They're so relaxed. They're so in the state. They believe and trust in themselves because they've done this. All we're doing is then applying it. So say, for example, a motor racer, I work a lot with motor racing. When your helmet goes on, bang, this is who you become.
mm,
If you're a tennis player, when you grab your tennis racket, this is who you become. And as soon as you let go of the tennis racket or the golf club, bang, you're back over here as being the human. So what I find is I want to create a significant, positive, beneficial, and instant result for the athlete to then go, right, okay, this is what I'm here to do. And then they're more likely to stay with you, connect with you longer, and to really create a great bond. It's a bit like the bond that athletes and coaches have. Like they will phone up and they will go through a lot of emotional stuff, and you're kind of that person now to help them and to hold that level of belief until they achieve their premiership, their gold medal, the championship, whatever they're aiming to achieve, you're the
Mm.
person that's there holding this space for them.
And so, Stuart, you touched on motorsport,
Okay.
and you know a little bit about me now and my background, having
Mhm.
come through rallying and
Yep.
having an absolute passion for motorsport. You've gotten to know me a little bit over the time that we've been training together. How do you see those two pieces coming together for me?
Yeah. Number one is you got to have passion. Okay? The people that have come on board as an athlete, seeker weapon, approved practitioner, or anyone coming to do the training, I've probably rediverted a few. Well, I've rediverted more than I've actually taken on board because I want people with passion for sport who've got the experience in sport, which you have. They've got a real drive to help others to achieve that for themselves.
Mm,
That's half the battle because you'll find a lot of psychologists or wellness people, they don't have the experience in sport, therefore they don't get it.
mm,
If they did, they'd be looking at the modeling process and going, yeah, that's not suitable. It's like your motor racers spending all that time looking back in the past,
mm,
trying to fix something that's happened on turn one. But hang on, we're going this way. Let's stop looking backwards and let's go this way.
mm.
So I guess to help you out is you've come on board because you're passionate about motorsport and sport in general. Athletes need to understand that the person that's helping them, they've got to be passionate. They've got to be positive. You're a positive enough person. Like I said, one of the main things that athletes need from you is to hold that level of belief within them.
Mm.
And I can guarantee that with the training we've done, with the face-to-face training, with the 2 hours of mentoring every Thursday in the locker room, um, you're way ahead of 95% of any mindset coaches in the world. Okay? The processes I've created that have taken me, 18 years to fine tune, I'm still fine tuning them even this morning. Um, these processes, like I said, when we did our training, you're probably 12 to 13 years
Mm.
ahead of where I was when I first started with the knowledge and the experience. So if there's any athlete out there that's listening to this, go see Ali. Seriously, she's passionate about motorsport, passionate about rallying, passionate about helping people to achieve. And it's not just in sport, it's the corporate side of things as well. And I'm sure you're going to get onto that.
Yeah, absolutely. Great segue. Tell me about one of your most successful outcomes, be it business and or sport.
Oh, I tell you what, we had, what are we now? We're in March 2025, Olympics last year. I'm sitting there in August last year with just tears coming down my face, just go, that's one of mine, that's one of mine, that's one of mine. 2 gold medals, 2 bronze, I think. Yeah, 2 gold, 2 bronze, I think 1 silver. And I'm watching all my athletes from different countries because obviously we work internationally. And it's just amazing because I know the backstories. So one of my gold medalists, I won't share the name because we've got an exclusive deal. Um, what they've been through in their life, the fears, the trauma, the um, surgeries, operations, everything that's happened in their sport, surrounded by the sport and by other things that have happened within their lives, to see this person just absolutely just step up to a whole new level based on the work that we've done. Someone who was about to stop their sport totally, someone who had the ability but just couldn't apply it when they need to because fear jumped in, because fear was there to
Mm,
protect them from being hurt because they had been hurt
mm,
dramatically before. So in order to bypass that, we're using all our skill set and our belief in our experience and helping these athletes break through. But it's also in doing that, we're putting them at greater risk
mm,
because they've got to compete more and stronger at a higher level. So in order to do that, it takes a huge amount of commitment and belief on our side, but it's also when you see the results of the work that you do, oh, you're instantly reaching for the tissues.
mm,
And last week, as I sent a photo of something that I received from one of these gold medal Olympians that just goes, thank you. Found the love for my sport again. You've unlocked something within me that I didn't believe I could do. This wouldn't happen without you. And it kind of really hits you when you suddenly get that from a gold medalist. And we go, hang on, you've got coaches, you've got this coach, you've got strength and conditioning coach, you've got nutritional coach, you've got all these other coaches, yet you're giving me the credit. I'm going, yeah, I'll take the credit any day because I love seeing that and doing that. And this person is now traveling around the country for speaking gigs and engagements and in media and everything else that's going on because of the success. So their whole life came down to that one moment. So yeah, as an athlete, they put a huge amount of pressure on that, but as soon as we take the pressure off, she performed incredibly well. So if you look at athletes, as I was saying, they're now traveling around at speaking engagements. So athletes are becoming more like business people now. They've got merchandising, they've got websites, they've got sponsorships. They are kind of influencers in their own world. And it's amazing that, again, we segue into the corporate world because CEOs, business people, C-suite executives, entrepreneurs, they're acting more and more like athletes now. They're looking after their eating, they're looking after their health, they're exercising, they've got ice baths and saunas. So business people are now becoming more like athletes and athletes becoming business people. So exactly the same processes we've used and I've taught you are the ones that we can apply into business or sport or life for any peak performers, because it's all exactly the same, which is how do you perform? What's your peak performance state in business? What's your peak performance state in sport? What's it like in life? And I'm sure there's corporates out there. I'll give you one example of a corporate, if that's all right. Is that good?
Yeah,
Yeah.
please.
One of my corporates here in Australia, they're head of a let's say $400 million company here in Australia. I'm working with the CEO personally. Now, that CEO is doing 80-hour weeks. They're taking 2 weeks off holidays every year. They're on the board of 15 boards and there's 80 staff here. There's 2,500 around the world, around the country. And he was burning himself out. When we shift and change the paradigm to, right, what's your peak performance state? And then some of the other processes, your favorite, the toilet theory. Okay, if you ever want to ask about the toilet theory, people, go and ask Ali, it's her favorite. But when we went through that, all of a sudden, well, not all of a sudden, but here we are 18 months later, this same CEO and business owner, instead of 80 hours a week, they're doing 35 hours. Instead of 2 weeks off, they're having 12 weeks off a year. Instead of just working, they're only on the board of 2 or 3 events and companies now. And they've got more time and they're investing in, and they're taking the family on more holidays. And because of that, now anyone in business, you would understand what it takes to get a 1, 2, 3, 5% growth in business over a year. What would 18% look like if you're already a $300 million company? You look at that, and that's what the success rate has been by applying these processes that elite athletes use, business people use, and combined, it is incredibly powerful. So this is why I'm passionate about it, because in business, we can push and push and push ourselves so much, but all we're doing is just going boof, crashing in our own health and personal lives. And that's what I find, unfortunately, a lot of business coaches, they focus on business, but not the actual life coaching aspect of it. So what we do is very balanced approach to, hang on, you want greater success in business, the energy and the flow has got to come from somewhere. So it actually flows into business. So you find yourself doing less hours, but more productive, more effective, more efficient, more profit.
Fantastic. Thank you, Stuart. So where do you see the future of athletes' secret weapons going,
Yeah, I had a basic concept of what it would look like, which is 55 practitioners plus myself working with these incredible athletes. But when we first started doing the training and started bringing yourselves on, it's like all of a sudden it's got a life of its own. It's creating collaborations and community. It's creating a conversation. It's created this momentum that we can't stop now. The end result for me, the original concept was 2028 Los Angeles Olympics, having all 55 of my athlete secret weapon approved practitioners all there supporting the athletes that they work with at the Olympics. Okay, so we can have an awards night and conference and also be there to support the potentially, if we all have 10 athletes there, which is easy to do because I had, I think, about 17 or 18 at the last Olympics. There's no reason why we can't be there supporting 500 athletes mentally, because elite athletes, they're going to be training 6 days a week, 5 hours a day for one event that may only last 10 seconds every 4 years. They're not going to leave success to chance. So they're going to be relying on people like us to be there in that moment to support them in their greatest success. They've sacrificed everything for 5, 10 to 15 years for this moment. So for me, it's my duty of care to be there for the athletes and also to assist, because I know the results that are achieved. I'll just look at one of my gold medal athletes and go, if we can replicate that for 200 or 300 or 500 athletes, job done. And I'm also very aware of the failings of a lot of sports psychology and a lot of other, how would you put it, counseling, mindset, consulting, specialist of wellness. Yeah, okay, I get it. There's some very good and powerful tools and processes, but they're not designed for the elite athletes. You've been an elite athlete. I've been there. You've been there within your rallying. I've been in there within martial arts. It's different. There's some incredible processes in typical hypnosis, and I think that's one of the other things as well. I want to increase the level of awareness of hypnosis for performance. Okay, a lot of people are aware of the stage hypnosis and making people do stupid things. I go, that's really good, but why do you want to do stupid things when we can stop you doing stupid things and start you doing good things? If you want to run around like a chicken, that's great. But don't come to me expecting me to do something stupid. Okay? I use the example, I turn chickens into champions. So if you want to be a chicken, that's great. I can do that. But how's it going to benefit you? But there's also, I know the resources that I've kept quiet and kept to myself the last 18 years. I know that there's a certain level of awareness of, I can't do it all. How dare I keep this to myself when one or two other athletes need that? And I can't be everywhere for everyone. So it's almost a matter of, right, I'm passing the baton over. I know you're trained, fully aware. Every week we've got 2 hours where it's not just having a conversation and mentoring and guiding, it's suggesting, it's case studies, it's support, it's encouragement. But it's also, I'm analysing and assessing you at any given time. So I know that, hey, look, at any time I can go, Ali's out. But no, Ali just keeps stepping up even more and more and really driving it. So I have full faith in the training you've done, the person you are, the experience you are, the resources you've got. Like I said, you're already 12 years ahead of where I was when I first started. So if you started coming against me in business, I'd go, I'm up against Ali. So look, any athletes or any corporates out there, look, full gratitude to Ali for reaching out and saying, yeah, I can do this, because she can. So yeah, same processes, same everything else, and support and encouragement for myself every week. And we will be until we get to the Olympics. It's going to be nuts. Good fun, though.
Yeah, well, I've certainly got to say, I've got to say, it's been an absolute fun blast. Not only am I learning so much, I'm also having fun along the way. And the people that I'm meeting and the collaborations that are coming out of the training are far, far superior to what I even expected. And even just the Kiwi connection, we've been in weekly contact with each other, and getting not just your training, but collaborating with each other as well, and supporting each other. It's been an absolutely amazing journey so far.
And that's the other support that we're all going through as well, is the fact that, okay, so you want to work with, say, All Blacks or the Warriors, or what are the other Black Sticks, Black Caps, Silver Ferns. So if you want to work with them, but if anyone's listening, please give Ali a call, because I'm here on the other side of the Dutch in Australia that's willing to support and help you and your team, even in corporate teams, to help you get to that next level up. So you can be assured that by working with Ali and working with someone else, we can help you. We've got a group collaboration now. If it takes 55 of us to help you, yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah, I've got to say the support is second to none. You know, Stuart, you're there every Thursday for us, bar one time where there was a natural disaster. But
Cyclone.
but you were there in spirit with us, and you're available on the phone anytime. I've never been able to not get hold of you or have you call me back and help me out of, what do I do here, or
Yeah,
what process should I run here, or hey, I've got this opportunity, what do you think I need to do?
yeah.
Critiquing the work that I'm doing. Your support is absolutely on point, which it needs to be when you're working at an elite level, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is what you want. As clients, I don't call them patients like a lot of psychologists do.
Mm,
Patience implies there's some level of sickness. When
mm,
you call them clients, I mean, my athletes now, I just call them friends. I can just hop on the phone and phone anyone now, and there's never any of this, let's organize a time to have a chat, and you just phone them up
mm,
because they respect, they encourage, you're connected to them, and we're there to support. Just like I'm there to support you and everyone else, all the other practitioners, because I know how I'd want to be supporting business. Because I had that briefly when I first started 18 years ago. I had one person who unfortunately got too sick and passed away within what 6 months of me starting. It was a specialist in sports. It was so beneficial to have that at least 3 months with them because it taught me so much about the application of the processes. Now, within hypnosis,
mm,
it's very skeptical anyway. So, how do you break through that? But then, when you've got someone to help and teach and guide and mentor, and any of your clients are going to know that, hey, look, at any time, you can hop on the phone, speak to me because I've got that experience in the corporate and in the business, corporate and within the
mm,
sport. Plus, in my own life, we've all got our own experiences we can add to it. You've got your motor racing, I've got my martial arts. Even though they're totally different, they're exactly the same because it revolves around the same processes. Setting the peak performance state, managing the nerves and doubts and fears, and focusing you on what you want to achieve. Once we've got those
mm,
three done, 95% of the change in the evolution you want within yourself is done. So
mm.
very powerful. And it's cool.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Stuart, for your time. I so appreciate it.
You're very
And
welcome.
look forward to seeing you in our locker rooms. And I think we've got a conference coming up soon too in Australia. So it'll be great to get everybody together then too. Hey.
Exactly. And that's where the collaboration helps. So anyone can be assured that, look, it's not just you dealing with Ali and working with Ali, it's working with potentially 55 other people, helping, support, and encouraging
Mm,
and guiding all the way through. So, yeah, that's a
mm,
big picture for us is basically creating a beautiful, solid support base of a place that anyone can come to knowing you're going to get exactly the same processes applied the same way, professionally, personally. And look, we have fun doing it.
And you know what? Just as one thing that I have noticed, Stuart, is the people that you're bringing on who are now my colleagues and fellow collaborators.
Mm.
They are all incredibly intelligent people. There's nothing woo-woo, which is, a common thing that people think about when they think about hypnosis and
Yeah.
clucking like chickens and all that sort of stuff. But there's nothing, and we're a bunch of fun people who are incredibly committed to doing the best we can for
Mm.
the
And
people we work for.
incredibly humbled. We've got the head of Hypnosis New Zealand. We've got a doctor of, oh, what is she? What's Sue? Dr. Sue, quantum
Quantum, yes.
quantum physics, quantum healing, specialist hypnosis within the equestrian area. We've got a medical doctor over in New Jersey, Robert Cabri, um, who's basically giving up a medical practice to work sports hypnosis full time because that's the level of belief that we've got within this. And I'm so humbled by the people that are coming on board that I get to share this knowledge with
Mm.
because everyone is going to benefit. So it's incredibly powerful. So thank you.
Thank you.
How about we leave it there? That's a good one
Perfect.
to end on.
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome, Ali. Take care. Bye bye.
See ya.